I never imagined my grandmother's well would spark a vicious HOA war until Karen Mitchell poured concrete into it while I was away. She didn't know I'd been setting a legal trap for months. What would you do if you learned your neighbor's vendetta wasn't just about rules, but a decades-old family grudge? I still recall the day I inherited Grandma Rose's farmhouse. The lawyer handed me a faded envelope, saying, "Your grandmother insisted you have this." Inside was a hand-drawn map of 5 lush acres in Maple Grove estates, including a stone well that had supplied water for over a century. Tracing the map's edges, I fought tears. Grandma taught me to fetch water from that well at age 8. 2 months later, I moved in. The farmhouse needed repairs, but the land was stunning. The well stood proud in the yard, its stones circle like a storybook relic. I spent my first weekend clearing weeds and fixing the wooden roof. Neighbors, the Harrisons, brought cookies. "We're thrilled someone's here," Lisa Harrison said. "Your grandma was a gem." I offered them well water, tested pure as ever. But Tom Harrison glanced at the street. "The HOA's gotten strict. A new board member's obsessed with rules." I chuckled. "This property's exempt. Grandma ensured that." Their relief should have warned me. Days later, while tending my garden, a shadow loomed. A woman in a sleek tracksuit stood at my fence, blonde hair in a tight bun, sunglasses hiding her eyes. "You're Rose's grandkid," she said, no introduction. "I'm Karen Mitchell, HOA Vice President." "That's an eyesore. HOA demands uniform landscaping." I stayed calm. "This land predates the HOA. It's exempt." Karen's smile twitched. "No property skips community standards. I've noted violations." She snapped photos and left. That night, a certified letter listed 3 violations: unapproved features, non-compliant landscaping, unsafe structures, each with a $100 daily fine. I called HOA President James Carter, who said, "Karen's right about standards, but bring exemption papers to our meeting." Digging through Grandma's files, I found the 1982 agreement. My property was historically significant, and it was well protected forever. Then, Ellen Brooks, an elderly neighbor, knocked. "I saw Karen at your fence," she whispered. "Last year, she filled my lily pond while I was away, claiming it bred mosquitoes." My stomach churned. Ellen shared tales of Karen's tyranny: a shed demolished, a playhouse torn down, a family's gate removed. I couldn't sleep, touching the well's cool stones. Karen's intensity scared me. I acted fast, contacting a water rights lawyer, a security firm, and the State Historical Society. "You're well qualified for protection," they said. Cameras went up, some hidden. Attorney Laura Hayes confirmed the exemption's strength but urged, "Document everything." I logged every detail, keeping copies of the agreement everywhere. Karen's inspections multiplied, and violation notices piled up. At the HOA meeting, she dismissed my documents, demanding legal verification. Neighbors split, some backed Karen, others urged me to fight. The Harrisons whispered, "She's bullying everyone." I sensed trouble before a work trip, checking cameras and asking the Harrisons to watch my place. Rain soaked me as I returned home. My headlights hit the well, or where it should have been. A gray concrete plug replaced it, and the wooden roof splintered. I dropped to my knees, tracing the hardened surface. Karen watched from her porch, smiling. "What did you do?" I shouted. "The board voted," she replied. "That hazard had to go." I yelled, "It's exempt!" She handed me a document citing emergency action for safety. "You were gone. A child could have fallen in." The police called it a civil matter. Footage showed Karen directing a concrete truck. HOA President James was stunned. "She said it'd be a safety cover, not concrete." Laura's eyes blazed watching the video. "This is illegal. It violates water rights and historical protections." The well's historical status had been approved days earlier. "Karen's liable for criminal vandalism," Laura said. Neighbors rallied. Ellen had photos, others overheard Karen's plans. I sued Karen and the HOA. Then, a brick crashed through my window with a note. Drop the lawsuit or else. Police took it seriously now. A news crew arrived and I spoke. This well is my water source and our history. Karen retaliated with flyers claiming I forged documents, splitting the neighborhood further. Karen approached with two men, one with a tattoo matching the brick's note. Records can be changed, she hissed. Accidents happen. I called Laura, who urged me to leave for safety. At a hotel, I pored over Grandma's papers, piecing together Karen's grudge. Laura filed for an emergency hearing. Yellow flyers blanketed the neighborhood. Resident threatens community with lawsuit. Signs dotted my yard. Comply or leave. I photographed them, staying calm. Ellen revealed Karen's plan to discredit my historical registration and falsely claim I threatened her. Then my dog, Buddy, vanished. A tip led me to Karen's shed, where police found him, dehydrated but alive. Footage caught Karen luring him. The HOA meeting was electric. Karen called my well a danger, but I presented historical records and photos of preserved wells elsewhere. James exposed Karen's forged documents, announcing, "The HOA never approved concrete. We'll fund restoration." Karen stormed out, vowing revenge. That night my car felt off. My mechanic found cut brake lines. Police linked Karen's fingerprints to the sabotage. In court, Judge Harper called it a disturbing case. Testimony and footage exposed Karen's lies. A detective tied her to the brake tampering. Karen screamed, "He's ruining our neighborhood!" The judge awarded me restoration costs, $175,000, Karen's HOA removal, and a restraining order. Karen shouted, "Ask about the Thompson deal in '76. Your grandma wasn't innocent." The name Thompson nagged me. Weeks later, an old man, George Thompson, appeared. "Your grandma saved my farm in '76, he said, revealing that Karen's father, a corrupt banker, targeted his land. Grandma's deal protected it, hiding evidence of his fraud. Workers found a box in the well deeds and records proving Karen's family stole land, with covenants preserving my well. In a second trial, Judge Harper ruled Karen's property invalid. She pleaded guilty to avoid jail, sentenced to catalog historical features. The HOA dissolved, replaced by a heritage group. My well, restored, became a landmark. Grandma's letter, found later, read, "Water reveals truth. Protect what matters." Neighbors celebrated around the well, now a symbol of justice. But Karen's words linger. Was Grandma hiding more? What would you do against such a neighbor? Share your thoughts below. Should grudges justify revenge? Let's debate.